You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach. And I want to welcome you to another edition, I'm trying to drink and walk at the same time, of another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. I also want to tell you that on the 2nd of May, this year I'm having the second annual Power Up Summit with my business partner and the co-host of the summit, Coach Arlo Henderson. This year's summit is going to be absolutely fantastic. This is our second annual summit. We had to take 1 year off because globally we were dealing with a situation where a lot of persons couldn't travel, and we were hamstrung a little bit about what we could do and what we couldn't do. Business kind of changed, and business was changing and morphing, and people's priorities were changing and morphing as well. So we're back on our feet, and we are ready to allow you to get plugged in so you can power up, so you can get your switch on. I'm also a co-owner of the company Switch On with Coach Arlo Henderson. And as I said, this is our second annual Power Up Summit, and you really need to be plugged in for this opportunity. It's 8 hours of virtual online seminar, which is going to absolutely knock your socks off. Those individuals who get in early will also have the opportunity to upgrade for special time online with Coach Arlo in the evening and myself in the morning for a special small group setting where you have coffee with Rhadi. If you have tea, you can have your tea too. We'll have a coffee with Rhadi session in the morning before the summit starts, and then after the summit is over, there'll be another small private session for those individuals who want to sit down and have a virtual cocktail session with Coach Arlo Henderson. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about today. This past weekend, you could check the link to get in on the Power Up Summit through all my social media sites, or you could direct message me and I have my assistant get back with you. We'll make sure you get in. We only have 100 seats available, so you definitely want to get in and choose the VIP day if you have the opportunity. So I want to talk to you about this. Outside walking. So this past weekend, we had the opportunity in the sporting world, in the MMA world, to watch UFC 261. Now, I'm going to speak about the event briefly because there's some people who are listening who don't really care about MMA, and there's some people who love MMA. MMA means mixed martial arts. So the UFC is a mixed martial arts competition with some of the best mixed martial arts competitors in the world fighting. And this weekend was really, really dynamic because we had so many knockouts and TKOs. I think on the main card there was 2, 3. There was either 3 or 4 knockouts on the main card. Now, why are these things important? Well, if you look at the knockouts that occurred at UFC 261, most of the people who lost, were highly prepared, and they never saw the knockout coming. They never saw this type of finish happening. Now, everybody knows in boxing, we all say, it's the punch that you don't see that knocks you out. And that's true. But there's another level of understanding of this particular thing. I'm not talking about the punch that you don't see, because you can prepare for combinations of somebody's style and then you still don't see the punch. This was a situation where these people were not prepared for what happened to them. And it was not due to a lack of overall preparation. They were hit with the element of surprise. Now, why is this important? This is important because you're in a rhythm. You get up, you check your phone, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you have your coffee, you get in the car, you go to work, or you stop at Starbucks. Whatever it is, you have a routine that you follow over and over and over again. You have a routine. You have a routine that is set in stone so much that you become predictable to a lot of people, and people probably like the fact that you are predictable. However, as we used to say in judo and in wrestling, you need to keep 1 or 2 back pocket moves that you practice and shadow on your own that your training partner never sees, because you're going to need those for the trials. You have to have some back pocket moves. One back pocket move that I've seen people utilize, I've seen people go to school, don't tell anybody they're in school, and send them the invitation for graduation when they're getting ready to graduate. They study at work, they study in the library, they never bring their books home, and they study and they just go to school and they get their stuff done. Now, I'm not telling you to be sneaky or go behind the back of a spouse or a best friend or a confidant or a life partner. What I am telling you is that use the element of surprise for something good. You also have the element of surprise where if you don't really buy flowers often, you can buy flowers for somebody or buy a card. If there's something that you don't do normally, use the element of surprise to put yourself in a better position. Like at this UFC 261, I watched Usman use the element of surprise against Jorge Masvidal, because Jorge had prepared for a wrestling bout, and Usman came in as a pure striker for the event and didn't even try to wrestle. And Jorge Masvidal was just surprised. He figured that he knew what he was going to do. But it seems like nobody in Jorge Masvidal's camp read The Art of War. Because if you read The Art of War, then you have to make an assumption of what the other person may do, and then you have to make an assumption what the other person will do based upon the element of surprise. These things are what Coach Greg Nelson and Coach Pat Barry understood when coaching Thug Rose. All the coaches in the space of place are good. They're all good. They're all great. You got to put your chips down on something. You got to make a decision on something. You only have so much time during the day. The chronological landscape is already set when you're preparing for a fight, and you have to make a decision of where you're going to invest your time based upon your estimation of where I have the best opportunity and how I have the best opportunity to win. So I believe everybody did that. The event was great. However, if we go back to the art of war, preparation is one thing, and then you need to understand the element of surprise. You need to act like you're weak where you're strong and strong where you are weak. You need to be able to flank. You need to be able to move differently than how you're moving now. One thing that I can tell you is that there's a way for you to win in life, but it's not the way that you're winning right now. It's not the way that you're going right now. You're going to have to make a shift in your thinking, and thus a shift in your life, and do things a little bit differently. And it's going to be a surprise to you, and it's going to be a surprise to other people. But you're going to have to move in such a way that's going to have to be done with wisdom. Don't make it covert, but do it with wisdom. Because everybody is not going to agree with you. Everybody is not going to be behind you. I am not telling you to hide no funds from your wife or your husband and put it to the side and go start your own business without talking to them. No. Your wife and your husband, those are your partners. All right. Your life partner is your life partner. You talk to your life partner. But everybody else on the periphery that doesn't need to know, they don't need to know. And sometimes your kids don't need to know. Sometimes your aunts and uncles don't. Sometimes your friends don't need to know. Because those people, even when they ask you, hey man, how things going, how school's going, how studies going, they're really just asking you because they want to see when you're going to fail. They're not asking you to encourage you. Sometimes you got to learn how to encourage yourself and pray for yourself. And you need to make some different moves so that you can live differently. You can't live differently and your life won't be any different until you invoke the element of surprise. And you'll surprise everybody else once you start surprising yourself. You can do more than you thought you can do. You can be more than you thought that you can be. You just have to make a mental shift. Now, how do you do that? Man, it's rough. It's tough. And it's almost impossible to do without coaching. The Bible speaks about a transformation that occurs from the mind being renewed. It also talks about seeking out the elders of the church. Now, you don't have to go to a church, but the elders of the church. So if you're in management, there's probably a good quality, quote unquote, management church that you would go to, or people who preach management, people who know management well, that you can go to get some management advice. It's people you can go to get some life coaching advice. And therapy is different than coaching. I believe in therapy. People say, oh, you don't have to be broken to go to therapy. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. But therapy is for rehabbing things and sometimes rehabbing traumas. Coaching allows you to work through, push through, and get through. Now, there are times when you need coaching, times when you need therapy, and times when you need to utilize both modalities in order to get where you need to go. What I'm telling you right now is to make this life shift, you need to seek out some elders, some people who understand this particular thing a little bit better than you do, some people who understand peak performance, optimum performance, doing things at a super, super high level. And the best way to do that, man, I would do that for 100% free, or for the small shipping of $9.95, and I get the book, The VIP Life. Just go to www.theviplife.net and get that particular book and allow it to walk you through how to not feel guilty for putting yourself first, because that's the first thing that you're going to deal with, is the guilt for wanting to be the best. Like everything right now is, in the social media place, is the buzzword now is narcissism. Now, it's impossible for you to be the best in the world if you don't think you're better than everybody else. So if somebody ever asks you, you think you're better than everybody else? Give the same answer that I give. Of course I think that I'm better than everybody else. Why would I walk around this planet thinking that I'm not better than you are? That is absolutely ridiculous to me. Of course I'm better. Comma, in certain areas. That's it. There's a reason why you have a valedictorian of a class. There's a reason why there's a gold medal and a silver medal. There's a reason why there's certificates and non-certificates. There's a reason why there's honorable discharge and dishonorable discharge. There's a reason, because some people are better than others. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. For my All Lives Matter crew, yeah, all lives matter. Just all lives don't matter the same. If you standing next to the President of the United States and something breaks out, there's going to be a group of people that are going to come grab him and shield him, and nobody's going to shield you. It's not because you're not important. You're just not important to those people. So don't take it personal, all right? You have a job to do. Your job is to take care of you, yourself, your family, your loved ones. And you cannot do that without taking care of yourself. And there are a lot of people around that are just expecting you to sit in the seat that you sit in. And you don't have to sit in that seat. You can change that seat and change your station in life. And you can do it today. If you want to make more, if you want to be more, if you want to do more, then just go to www.theviplife.net and do more today than you did yesterday. And doing more today will require you to click that particular button, get that book, start reading, and book your free coaching call. And that's it. So, number one thing today, invoke the element of surprise. Number two, make sure that you register for the Power Up Summit. Check the social media links, check my social media links. If you don't have any of that stuff, man, hit me with a direct message. And number three, go to www.theviplife.net and get the book, The VIP Life, today. And don't feel guilty about putting yourself first. Take care, man. This is Dr. Ferguson. Have a super fantastic day. Remember, I love you, but God loves you best. Oh, and if you haven't done so, man, please go get Coffee with Rhadi. It's a fantastic book. It's been out for a few years now, and it's a book that I came up with after thinking about the conversations I used to have with my mom over coffee. Take care. I love you.